Hey, good afternoon. This is Spiritual Stud, and
I am MT, baby.
we want to welcome you to the latest edition of Just My Opinion. We've got some serious topics to discuss today, so excuse the glare, and we kind of got light spots. We're trying a new area, so all right. So the first thing I think we want to talk about is, well, this is a little thing I didn't even talk to you about this. I don't know if you saw this one, but there is this thing on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Dove. Did you see that article? Okay, so you know how Dove has the picture. They had 4 pictures of this black girl and with a brown T-shirt on. So in the first picture, you saw it. So, who thinks of these things? If you haven't seen it, I don't know where to tell you to find it, but it was a black girl. She had a brown T-shirt on, and then she started taking the T-shirt off, and a white girl appeared. It's like, what are you saying? When you wash the dirt off, is that what? I didn't get it.
It's a metaphor.
For dirt?
I don't know.
What's the metaphor for?
We're all the same on the inside.
Oh, is that what that is?
I don't know. I'm just guessing. No, I don't have a clue. I didn't sit in on the meeting. They didn't ask me. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, who does this?
Well, you know, Dove has had a campaign for diversity,
Right.
especially about body sizes.
Right. That's it.
They need to, you know what? They need to ask a black person.
They do. They need somebody
because I've
of
seen
color.
a couple of commercials lately that it's like, you know, maybe somebody on the board should run this by. So, you know, go find, you know, Shaquita in the office.
Okay, let's
down the
switch
way.
that around. Let's switch it around. What would you think if she started off in a white T-shirt, a white girl in a white T-shirt, and she took it off, it became brown, and a black girl? Just say it. It reminds me. Did you see Blackish this week?
I didn't.
Oh, you got to see it.
I heard it was good.
Oh, it was excellent.
I heard it was good. Don't spoil it.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but just know. I'm just gonna say, just like his character is in the ad agency, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he likes to bring up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what y'all need. Not saying that you gotta have a whole group, but you need one in there that can say, "Listen, that's not a good idea," and let me explain why.
Why?
You know, it's not necessarily that they always gotta say that's not good. They need an explanation because we know that everybody doesn't get why it's not a good idea. So there you go. That was just my 5-minute speech. And it wasn't even 5 minutes. It was a little rant. Because I don't understand. And we shall move on. Okay. On to more serious.
Uh-oh.
Allie Steinfeld. Now, when I came across this article, I swear it just did something to me. Because, first of all, we're talking about a 17-year-old kid who is just coming into who they are, right? So his name was Joey, and he started understanding who he really was. So he's like, I'm changing my name. I'm going to live my truth. I'm Allie, okay? But Allie was dating a 24-year-old woman named Brianna. I think that was her name, Brianna. Yeah, Brianna. They live in a town called Licking, Missouri. Licking, Missouri.
That was Houston.
That's a county or something. Houston County. It was Texas County. But the town, because the mother moved away like 3 months prior to this happening. So Allie was couch surfing. And
which, by the way, happens to a lot of homeless LGBT youth.
But unfortunately, Allie was in a place that really does not value diversity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's not too far from Branson, right?
I think you're right. Mm-hmm.
Not too far from Branson. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you about my Branson experience, okay? So, my church, former, went to Branson because we like to go to the plays.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have the religious plays, whatever. Mm-hmm. So we went, and we all went out to get ice cream. Now, all of us chocolate. Mm-hmm. We standing out there waiting across the street. Drive by. A truck full of white people. Niggas! I'm not going to say N-word because this is what they called us. Mm. So, diversity, even though you might have a few chocolate people on stage there, it's still not a big, because you still have folks that live there with the same mindset.
Right.
So for this kid who was coming into her own, these people did some really ratchet stuff to her. I mean, the torture that was, you know, when I heard what they did to her, I mean, go ahead, I know you got something to say.
No, I mean, it just reminded me of Boys Don't Cry, the movie. Mm-hmm. You know, it just is in 2017, it's a constant reminder that we're still not safe, we're still not protected. Mm-hmm. You know, in a minute we'll get into the laws.
Right.
But we're just not safe and not protected as a community.
Yep.
And you have to be so careful and so aware. And, you know, there's those of us who are grown, you know, who are still experiencing different types of oppressive behaviors against us. And this was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, just a kid. I mean, the report said they assaulted her all kinds of ways and then gouged her eyes out.
Right.
You know, tried to get rid of the body by burning her body. That's a level of evil that, you know, most of us can't comprehend. But it's so, you know, so many people feel like it's okay when it's us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know people get angry when they say that, you know, LGBT is the new black. Because slavery and the history of slavery in America is so powerful. And the lasting effects of it is so powerful. But honestly, what they did to this young girl is hateful. You know, hateful behavior is hateful behavior no matter who it's targeted to.
Right.
And it's just awful. There is a level of evil in this world. And now the evil is being given permission.
Oh, I read a quote.
To be evil. And they're giving pats on the back. And they're giving the thumbs up. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like I always say, there's levels to this thing.
Yeah.
You know, but for you Christians out there, sin is a sin is a sin. Okay? You can't tell me that the people who committed this horrible thing against this person, this young person, is no different than those of you who sit in church and bash. Or on your job,
they just acted it out.
You know, they just acted it out. Exactly. So, you know, the lines, there are levels to this thing, but how many of you joke around about hating your job or hating your boss or hating a type of music and the people that listen to that kind of music?
Yeah.
Look at this, the Vegas shooter.
Right now, okay, well, we'll go there.
And we don't know what caused him to be crazy McCrazy pants.
Right.
But something, you know, snapped within him.
Right.
For him to be able to do that. There has to be something wrong with you. And the problem is the climate in the country is so that, like I said, people are getting pats on the back and rewarded for bad behavior.
Dependent upon the victim, though.
The neo-Nazis were in St. Louis just recently.
Yeah.
You know, we thought the whole Tiki Torch thing was over.
Oh,
no, they're back.
No. They just did one. They just did one last week, right?
They tore down that statue of General Lee, and they were out there with their rhetoric. And, you know, and once again, we don't have anybody in leadership in America besides a precious few whose voices are not being heard as loudly as others.
Right.
And nobody's saying we denounce this. Well, I'm not going to say nobody. I'm going to say the voices aren't loud enough on the pushback. The pushback isn't loud enough and hard enough to say we denounce this.
It's too much.
This is not right.
It's too much infighting for them to be out right now. The Democrats are fighting each other because they want the oldsters to step down. The oldsters don't want to step down. So they better get it together. They better get it together though, because it's you know what the quote I read was, Donald Trump did not divide the country. He just poured gasoline on it and fanned the flames. So it was already there. And that's the thing that some people don't want to admit. It was already there. You know, those of us who happen to have permanent tans understood that it was already there.
Right.
You know, some of us within the LGBTQ whatever community were lulled into believing that because Obama said, well, I believe that they should be married, that it was all gravy. No, it's not all gravy, because there are people, you know, I'm writing a paper right now. Well, I wrote it. And the study was that it doesn't matter, even if they came and said that being gay is a biological occurrence, it's something that's genetic, it's natural for some people, they would double down. Because guess what? I believe in religion, not science. That's what would happen. It doesn't matter. So we could fight it all day long, and we still, you know, we're gonna fight it because you have to. But the truth of the matter is, there are people, it does not matter. It's just like the Flat Earth Society. Don't matter. You can have all the pictures from NASA, the blue marble. They still say you can drive off the end of the earth. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
These people have their thoughts, and that's the way it is. So
I heard today, well, not today, 2 nights ago, I was listening to a religious sermon, and at the commercial break, they were talking about they're getting ready to do a series of seminars that focus on the 10 truths that Christians hold that we should hold on to, and not let the liberal biased left-wing people convince us otherwise. We have to hold on to these truths.
Hold on.
And so they started going down through, you know.
Yeah, I know what was there.
And you already know what was there. You know, we at least top 5 on the list.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
So, you know, there's a reemergence of religion using itself to discriminate and hate against people. So
and that's part of that Religious Freedom Restoration Act.
Yes.
Now this is not even how it started. So people who don't know how it started, this is how it started. There were 2 Native American counselors in Oregon. They worked at a drug and rehab institute. They was, you know, ingested peyote, but it was during a religious ceremony. So they got fired. They brought the case to court. The Supreme Court decision 5-4 was that ingesting peyote was not protected under the Religious Freedom, you know, Act or whatever, you know, under the freedom of religion. Basically, it was not protected. So what happened? The Democrats said, well, we're not going to allow this because this is part of their religious ceremony. So they drafted the Religious Freedom Restoration Act of 1993. And with that, they said, okay, they put it out there. It was signed into law by President Clinton. But and
that was to protect what they were attempting to do was protect people in any religion from discrimination. You know, I'm sorry to cut you off,
go ahead.
but I had a squirrel moment. So, because I want people to understand this clearly.
Okay.
Because it gets confusing and divisive depending on who words it.
Yeah.
So the whole point of this was, in order to be an American citizen, you're going to need a few things for basic survival. You need a job.
Yeah.
You need to work. You need a place to live. You need access to food, water, those type of electricity, gas, those type of things. So, the basic necessities. We're not talking about getting rich and all that kind of stuff. Just the basic necessities of life are supposed to be covered for everyone under the Constitution.
Yeah.
When they drafted this law, the whole purpose was so that when you had a group like a Native American group or a Muslim group or a Seventh-day Adventist group, because I've been through this growing up myself, you know, where you say, I can't work on the Sabbath, or you're Jewish, you don't work on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
They can't fire you because you can't work on the Sabbath.
Right.
So that was the meaning of it. You know, you can't fire me because I drug tested for peyote because last weekend I was at the powwow.
Right.
You know, that was the meaning behind it, was to protect religion and the people who serve those religions.
Right.
Okay.
Now, up to date. Because, you know, Jeff Sessions, who's the Attorney General.
Granny.
Yeah. So I'm going to read something he said. Just a second here. Because basically what they've done now is taking it and they're going to use it for discrimination. I mean, we know. We're not dumb. We know.
Well, they already tried it with the HB2.
Yeah, but this is the thing. This is what he said. Religious liberty is not merely a right to personal religious beliefs or even to worship in a sacred place. Except in the narrowest of circumstances, no one should be forced to choose between living out his or her faith and complying with the law. Therefore, to the greatest extent practicable and permitted by law, religious observance should be reasonably accommodated in all government activity, including employment, contracting, and programming.
They flipped the script.
Yep. So here we go. And here we are. Just saying, if you don't understand what's going on, if you don't get educated, these things are going to knock you upside your head. I mean, reality is, the reason that I'm studying it so hard is because I'm in school, and my minor is Christian studies. So I have to study a lot of things like this. My major's human services. So again, I have to study social policy. So I'm up on it. But there are a lot of people, and I might be one of them if I wasn't in school, letting this stuff just fly by me. Because I hate to hear Donald Trump's mouth. The sound of his voice is like nails on chalkboard for me. I can't stand him. And so anything that he has to say, or Jeff Sessions, you know, anything he has to say, because neither one of them mean me or my kind any good. When I say my kind, I mean black, female, LGBTQ. All three of those, they mean us no good. And if we don't get a grip and understand and start thinking for ourselves and really looking at what's being put out there, we're always going to be beat down. We're always going to be crying. And I'm tired of crying. I have to educate myself. And in this show, we have to educate ourselves as well, because we don't want to be putting stuff out here that's just, yin-yang out the side of our necks. We need to be able to back up what we're talking about.
It's a sad day. I believe in having joy in your life, and prosperity and love and peace and happiness and joy, all those great things. And this is the thing. I keep hearing absolutes in these arguments.
Yeah.
When I listen to conservative talk radio, the left, the liberals, when I listen to, MSNBC and CNN, it's the right, Donald Trump and his party and his, and it's just like, there's no such thing as absolutes. there are people who fall on different sides of the coin depending on what the issue is. But I want people to understand that this religious liberty, freedom thing is just, it's so slippery. I mean, just the way he said it, it's so slippery. You know, and it's just like, when you hear it, oh, okay, well, we should have religious freedoms, and that's in our amendments, and that, you know, it sounds good until you hit that bottom line.
Right.
And the bottom line is those little things that I just said: security of your home, security of employment, security of being able to get food for yourself and your family and other things, you know, are going to be in jeopardy.
Yeah.
You know, and I talked with a good friend of mine at work about the movements that had come up to resist 45 in this administration. When you got the Satanists coming after you, I mean, the Satanists, they are lawyered up. Like, they are serious, and they are taking this administration to task. The atheists, I couldn't believe, I have never in my life seen an atheist commercial until the past couple of weeks on CNN. I was like, really? And I mean, right up there's the guy smiling, hey, you know, we want to talk to you about the, you know, and then I'm just like, whoa. You know, of course, I also never thought there'd be a show called Lucifer on TV, you know, but this is where we are. It's 2017. It is. I mean, but you got to understand that freedom of religion and freedom in religion are two separate things. You've got to understand this. And I don't know how to make it any simpler, but you've really got to understand this thing because it applies to everyone. You either have a religious affiliation or you don't. And you're either going to be a Christian or a Muslim or atheist or whatever. You're going to be something, agnostic, whatever it is. And how would you like it if your ability to provide for your family, provide for yourself, your employment, and all that was stripped away from you? Hell, even medical care.
Right.
Medical care. Because this is where they're kind of sneaking it in, is during the medical community, trying to make it, I forget what state it is, that said the EMTs. In Michigan, where they said if you're an EMT and you work there, then if you pull up on somebody's house in an emergency situation and the chick laying on the floor looks like a real butch lesbian, you could say, you know what, I don't believe in working on this LGBT.
So you can just let somebody die.
Basically.
And that's Christian, right? That's Christian. You just let somebody die.
That's a whole nother argument.
Girl, that's why I have a problem right there.
And see, and then like people, I had posted this question out on Facebook, and everybody was like, well, doctors and medical professionals have to take the Hippocratic Oath.
Right.
But what trumps that? That's what I'm saying. Yes, they can take an oath that says do no harm, but if you remove yourself and say, okay, I refuse to help this person, that once again, that slippery slope. We're going to be back in court again. After the first or the second or the 10th LGBT person dies because somebody refuses to give them some medication. I mean, do you understand that they are already saying that they're not going to provide the drugs for people who are on opiates?
The ones that have been using to bring them back from an overdose?
That's right.
Dang.
Yeah, man. They said, you know what, we're tired of that too. We're going to throw them out. With, you know, they don't want it, you know, because it's expensive.
But what's more expensive? Him out there at Mar-a-Lago playing golf? He has wasted more money playing golf in less than a year than Obama did in 8 years, right?
But he's the president.
But he had a lot to say about Obama playing golf, right?
But he's the president.
He ain't no president. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. He's a man with some power.
He got Tom Price up out of there.
He just got power. because they're sick of him and they know he's an idiot and they're trying to hold it down. But look, these people might have their beliefs and they stick to their beliefs, but they don't like being led by a fool, and that's what's happening. And he's actual isolationist.
Yeah.
Now you take America out of the picture of the world. Trust and believe, this is not a good thing for us, y'all. The only reason America's in the position is because we have supporters. But if we withdraw, then we don't have anybody to depend on. And anybody can come in here and beat us. Don't think that, see, in his mind, he never went to war. He don't understand. I've never been to war, but I got family members who have. And you got to understand that just because you have the largest military, you think, but you got military all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
So what you going to do, bring them all back here? Is that what you're going to do, and station them around the borders?
Because war brings money. And
Exactly.
That's how we call them. We used to call it during the Bush years the oily boys. That's how the oily boys make their money.
Yeah.
They go over there and, he said during the campaign, to the spoils of war go the victor. He said that. He wants
a war.
You think he's calling little Rocket Man just for a joke?
He wants him to explode.
Because guess what? Guess what happens? Think about it this way. If North Korea could, by chance, get that nuclear fitted warhead and knock off California, there goes the Democratic Party. There goes a whole lot of brown people. Yeah. Look at Puerto Rico.
Right.
It cracks me up because every time I think about Puerto Rico, I think about Kanye West in that news broadcast when he was standing there with what's the guy to play Mike?
Oh man, I forgot his name.
George Bush does not care about black people, and the dude just looked at him like, okay, go to commercial.
Please do something.
Yeah, that's how I feel. 45 does not care about brown people because
that's clear. That's clear.
And he can say they keep trying to give him praise every time he's presidential. Yeah. He went down to Vegas and he said some nice words about the police officers and the people helping each other. And look at him. He was so nice and presidential. And he talked about bringing the country together. But like my homegirl Rachel Maddow says, don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do.
Bam. Exactly.
Let's break it right on down. You ever been in a relationship with somebody who's just a liar?
Yes.
I have. In the past.
Yes.
And I just want to say, they will lie to your face and tell you that the sky is green. Where'd you get them shoes from? Oh, girl, I bought these shoes 2 months ago.
Right.
You bought them shoes yesterday. Why are you lying? Don't watch what people say. People, if you're unfamiliar with the pathological liar, they can't help themselves. They lie just constantly.
Yeah.
They go contradictory all the time because guess what? Literally, they have got Americans so confused that we can't focus on anything. In a 24-hour news cycle, you got to listen about the Russians. You got to listen about Puerto Rico. Now we got Hurricane Nate. Now we got New Orleans. Now we got to figure out why Cuckoo the Cocoa Puff, what's his name, down in Vegas shooting up everybody. Then we got the country music singers. Now we got gun control. I didn't even know what a bump stock was.
Right.
Now I got to worry about that.
Right.
Now we got the Democrats fighting the older people in the Democratic Party talking about you need to step down. And then we got the Republicans, calling. You got Rex Tillerson calling it. This is all in 24 hours.
Right.
Now I go squirrel, but damn. It's so much chaos and constant foolishness that nobody can focus on anything. And that is the plan. That's the plan.
Right.
Because if you notice, every single time that somebody's about to come out with some little nuggets and some tea on 45, he comes out with a tweet that throws everything off. It doesn't matter how outrageous it is or whatever, because they know the news cycle is going to pick it up. Boom. They're going to pick it up. Boom. And then the focus is now drawn away from whatever.
Yeah, because you know, heard nothing about Russia in a long time.
Oh, Rachel be on it. I'm sorry, Rachel Maddow. She almost every show she does, she's got another little piece of something from that dossier. Or I mean, that now Mueller's. They said Mueller now has possibly already talked with the guy who wrote the dossier. You know, I'm just saying, hurry up. But anyway,
but he's got to make sure he's got it all right.
He's got to have that thing laid out. Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. You know, a stick of dynamite, right? The fuse only burns so long before it explodes. He can only do so much. After a while, it's gonna explode.
Oh yeah.
It's just it takes a time. It takes a while, but really, chaos can only last so long before it implodes. Either this country's gonna implode, or the administration's gonna implode. It's one of the two.
Right.
Now, I don't know how many people are willing to let this man take this country down. I don't know.
He's still holding on to his base.
Well, you know, those people will go down with the ship.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
Definitely.
They will go down with the ship.
They're happy about it.
There are some people that have this wish that, you know, well, they have a feeling, well, if they're not going to be right, then, you know, we can all go down. That's I mean, I've heard that before. If you know, y'all ain't going to act right, we can all just, I'm like, really? But I think the majority of the country, I've seen too many of these, I'm so sorry I voted for you. Tweets. And like, I can't believe you're doing this, right? I can't believe this is what's going on. And so I don't think that...
Because it takes some people longer to recognize.
It does. It does. They're holding on to, I just wanted this particular thing to happen. And so when it happens, they're still like, but you're doing this, you know, and I didn't want this to happen so that this can happen. But, you know, that's the price you pay when you put the devil in charge. And I'm sorry, he ain't a Satanist, he's the devil. That's it. I don't believe in a devil.
I want people to understand something. Now, if you're a working stiff like we are, you may not have been exposed. And I'm not saying I run around with the elites, but I've had some exposure to people with money.
Okay.
And what you got to understand is, and this is why I get so angry when I hear people say, well, in a capitalistic society, you work yourself up by your own bootstraps. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, what happens is you get some money from your daddy, or they die, and then you get their money.
Right.
And then you go out and you have an idea, and then you hook up with some other people that got some money, and then y'all together have a bunch of board meetings. And then you hire people like us to come in and do the work.
Right.
That's how capitalism works. But anyway, it is what it is. So what happens is when you get to a certain level of income, clout, celebrity, there are some things that happen. First of all, the crowd, the financial crowd, is cutthroat.
Yeah.
I used to work for an agency called, well, I won't say what they're called, just in case there's FBI is listening. But I used to work for a company, and they were a financial planning agency for high-ranking military officials. It was a summer job for me. And so I'm in there, and I'm just answering the phones, making coffee, you know, whatever. Little secretarial type stuff, typing up a letter here and there, shredding documents. And what happened was these people would set up appointments with these people, and they basically told them where to put their money, where to invest their money. And I used to think to myself, I was young, I was probably like 17. I was like, why do people need somebody to tell them where to put their money? I didn't understand, you know, how you put money into the market to gain money and things like this, and how the stock market works and things like that. I just thought it sounded crazy to me. If I got $1 million, I don't need nobody telling me how to spend it. You know what I'm saying? But that's hood thinking, you know, because we like, oh, I can get this and a brand new car. And no. That's how rich people stay rich. They got to find loopholes and ways to put this money up so that they can gain more money off of it.
Right.
Okay,
money making money.
Money making money. But what happens is the higher you climb up that ladder, the more shaky the rules are. And when it comes to high estate real estate, when it comes to stock market, when it comes to all of these people who have risen above and beyond our little working stiff folk, who are, I'm talking about up there. I'm not talking about even high income. I'm not talking about $150,000. I'm not talking about $500,000. I'm talking about the millionaires. When you get on that playing field, all the rules are different.
Yeah.
All the rules are different. They literally live in a different world.
Yeah.
First of all, you have maids and servants. You have financial people. You have people that dress you. You have people that do your makeup, that do your hair. Like, your whole life is surrounded by people who do stuff for you. Okay? The reality of the working stiff is gone.
Yeah.
They don't know those days. Okay? Some people have never ever lived those days. Some people have rose up through and got to that phase. I'm saying all this because if you notice recently, Jared and Ivanka got busted.
Yeah.
For some shady emails about some real estate deals they were trying to do, Trump Soho.
Right.
Okay. So, but what you got to understand is, and what Bob Mueller is fighting, is that those little bitty rules that everybody else has to play by get real fuzzy when you make that kind of money. Just like they got caught up. Now see, but once again, the rules are different. When you got enough money, enough high-powered attorneys, then you start paying folk.
Right.
You shut up, you shut up, you shut up, and we just gonna keep on pushing like nothing ever happened. But in government, things aren't quite the same. Now, there are lobbyists. You got the NRA who love to dish out, well, we'll put this money in this pact and fund for you and this for you if you roll with us on this vote and whatnot. Keep in mind, those things do happen.
Yeah.
But we still have laws. We are still a nation of laws. And the faster old Bobby and his buddies get together on this investigation, I'm telling you, there's some dirt there. You don't have smoke without the fire.
No, you don't.
We just got to see where the money trail is going to go and how this is going to end up.
Yep. Well, I think because I almost started to say something, but I don't want to open up a whole nother can of worms. But the one thing you said was how people got to that certain level. And I saw a cartoon on Facebook with the slave. You saw that? And the white man crawled up his back, got to the top, and the slave was like, "Okay, can you help me out?" And he was like, "I got up here by myself."
Right. right.
Well, that's the very definition of pulling yourself up. Not really. You didn't really get up there by yourself, but yeah, everything that you said, man, we're just in a whole new territory. And again, I stress that we all need to be vigilant about what we know, because they can pull the wool over your eyes easily. Like you said, there's so much stuff going on, you can't keep up. And a lot of us like to read, be on Facebook and all this stuff, but we're not reading what's necessary to improve our minds and help us in this time of trouble. So I think I'm done. I've talked enough today.
I just have one person to throw on the A train.
A train to hell. Okay.
Well, I would be remiss, baby, If I didn't come out, because I have to call them out. We have to call them out when they do stupid stuff. And that is Little Miss Mary.
Erica?
Little Miss Campbell.
Was it Erica? Is it Erica? Or Tina?
No, Erica. Erica, the one
that voted for Trump.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
She going right on that. We got to throw her on there before we end this show because
she got.
You know what? She tried to backtrack.
Yeah,
I just said to pray for the president because whether you like it or not, he's your president, and I don't agree with everything he's doing. Baby, we got the letter, and the letter said,
You voted for it.
I voted for him because of his spiritual values. Christian values, which he has none. So,
wait a minute. When in between him grabbing the and kissing him whenever he wanted to, where was the Christian values in that? I don't understand. That's just me.
And kicking the Muslims out, and now trying to discriminate against the gays.
Well, you know, she's down here.
And treating Puerto Rico like they
throwing paper towels at Puerto Ricans. Saying that you guys, you've cost us a lot of money
in the debt.
Oh, God, come on, Miss Campbell, really?
Yeah, but you know what? This is the thing. She represents a big chunk of people in America, black evangelic Americans, who in their brain have got some stuff twisted about the direction we should go in as a country. Right. You know, and they're happy to see us LGBT folk get thrown under the bus.
But not realizing that y'all going right with us.
Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction.
Hey.
Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. That's where you're headed. And you going to hell. So there, I put you on the bus, the train. Pack your bags because you're going.
Well,
that's it.
That's all. I like it because she deserved that.
She did.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Shame. All right. So, without further anything else,
I'm good.
All right. Well, I'm good too. And I just want to thank you once again for listening. We appreciate you. We love you. And please keep downloading. Please keep sharing. Do whatever it is you need to do to get us out there. We really appreciate you. I am the Spiritual Stud.
And I am MT, baby.
We's out of here. Peace.
Peace.